Title: The Attic of Whispering Voices. The old house, with its ivy-covered stone facade, had always possessed a somber air. Even on sunny days, a shadow seemed to cling to its walls, a promise of secrets hidden behind its misted windows. For the Thompsons, the house was a bargain, a chance to start over far from the bustle of the city. But from the beginning, Sarah, the mother, felt a persistent chill, a feeling that they were not alone. The attic. It was the only part of the house that remained locked. The door, at the end of a flight of stairs that creaked with every step, was sealed with a rusty padlock. The realtor had muttered something about old problems and dismissed it as best left as it is. But for Daniel, the 16-year-old son, the locked door was an invitation, a mystery waiting to be solved. One night, while his parents slept, Daniel climbed the stairs. The wood creaked under his feet, each sound amplified in the silence of the night. The air grew colder as he approached the attic door. He took a hairpin from his backpack and, with a little patience, managed to open the lock. The door opened with a prolonged groan, revealing a dark and dusty space. The smell of dampness and something else, something indefinably rotten, hit him in the face. Daniel turned on his phone's flashlight, and the light revealed an attic filled with old junk, furniture covered with white sheets, and boxes stacked to the ceiling. As he explored, he felt a cold draft on the back of his neck. The flashlight flickered, threatening to leave him in total darkness. Suddenly, he heard a whisper. "You should never have come up here." Daniel froze. The voice was faint, almost inaudible, but clearly audible. He looked around, but saw no one. He thought it was his imagination, a trick of the mind playing with him in the dark. He continued on, feeling increasingly uncomfortable. In a corner, he found an old wooden trunk. It was locked, but the wood was rotten and gave way easily under his pressure. Inside, he found an old photo album. The photos showed a family, the original inhabitants of the house, the Blackwoods. In the first photos, they seemed happy, but as he progressed, the smiles disappeared, replaced by somber looks and expressions of terror. In the last photos, there was only one woman, pale and emaciated, with her eyes sunken in darkness. In the last photo, the woman looked directly at the camera, with an expression of pure horror. Daniel felt a chill run down his spine. Suddenly, he heard the whisper again, this time louder, closer. "Leave. Leave now." Daniel slammed the album shut and jumped to his feet. His phone's flashlight went out, leaving him in total darkness. Panic washed over him. He tripped over something and fell to the ground. As he tried to get up, he felt a cold hand grab his ankle. He screamed and struggled, but the hand held him tightly. He heard the whisper again, this time right next to his ear. "We'll never let you go." Daniel managed to free himself and ran towards the door. He stumbled down the stairs, rushing as fast as he could, with the feeling that something was chasing him closely. He reached his room, locked the door, and crawled under the covers, trembling with fear. The next morning, Daniel told his parents what had happened in the attic. They didn't believe him, of course. They said it was a nightmare, a product of his imagination. But Daniel knew what he had heard, what he had felt. He knew that the attic held a dark secret, a secret that did not want to be discovered. Despite his parents' disbelief, Daniel couldn't get the attic out of his head. He researched the history of the house and discovered that the Blackwood family had mysteriously disappeared in the early 20th century. Their bodies were never found. Rumors said that the family had been the victim of a curse that had originated in the attic. Obsessed, Daniel went back up to the attic, this time during the day and armed with a camera. He wanted proof, something to show that he wasn't crazy. He explored every corner, every crack, but found nothing out of the ordinary. He was about to give up when he saw something he had overlooked before. On the back wall, behind a pile of boxes, there was an inscription carved into the wood. It was written in an ancient language, a language that Daniel did not recognize. He took a photo of the inscription and sent it to a linguistics professor he knew. The professor's response arrived the next day. The inscription was an invocation, a ritual to contact the spirits of the dead. And most importantly, it was a warning. It said, "He who disturbs the sleep of the tormented, will suffer their same fate." Daniel felt a chill. He had disturbed the sleep of the tormented. Now, the curse of the Blackwoods was after it. From that day on, Daniel's life became a nightmare. He heard constant whispers, saw shadows moving in the corners of his eyes, and felt a cold presence following him everywhere. His health began to deteriorate, his hair fell out, and his skin became pale and translucent. One night, while he was sleeping, he had a vivid nightmare. He saw himself in the attic, surrounded by spectral figures that dragged him into the darkness. He woke up screaming, drenched in sweat. The next day, Daniel disappeared. His parents searched everywhere for him, but found no trace of him. The police investigated, but found no leads. The case remained unsolved. The Thompsons sold the house and moved away. The new owners, a young couple with a baby, settled in with enthusiasm. But from the beginning, they felt a strange presence in the house, a feeling that they were not alone. One night, the young mother heard a whisper coming from the attic. "You should never have come up here." The woman, driven by curiosity and an inexplicable sense of unease, climbed the stairs to the attic. She found the door locked, but it didn't take her long to open it. She entered the dark and dusty attic. And there, in a corner, she saw a pale and emaciated young man, with his eyes sunken in darkness. The young man stared at her and whispered, "Help me. Get me out of here." The woman screamed and ran downstairs, terrified. But it was already too late. The curse of the attic had trapped her. And so, the cycle of horror continued. The attic of whispering voices continued to claim victims, trapping the unwary who dared to disturb the sleep of the tormented. The old house remained silent, guarding its dark secret, waiting for its next victim. The attic door, always locked, was a warning that no one seemed to heed. Because curiosity, sometimes, can be stronger than fear. And in the attic, curiosity always came at a price. A very high